with Princely Umanmielen because this quote went all over the place yesterday because he wasn't taking a shot at all, but he ended up saying a lot about his previous stop. Umanmielen, the Ole Miss defensive end transferred in from Florida, was asked about offseason improvement and things of that nature. You hear the question, but the answer is what got spread around like crazy.
Some things you wanted to work on this offseason?
I feel like last year I excelled at, get pass rushing. I didn't have like my sacks. It wasn't double digit. It didn't like pop off the screen. But if you go and watch the film, I would get to the quarterback a lot, like right before he would throw the ball and things like that. So I had a lot of good pass rush reps. I feel like I was one of the best in the country as far as pass rushing. I feel like this season I could work on something that from last season I could work on better is my drops and my attacking the run game a little bit. But I feel like here I'm getting coached harder for things like that. I feel like at Florida, like the way I was coached, it was kind of like it was almost as if like they was just telling me to go out there and use my talent, if that makes sense. But here, Coach Lou and Coach Coach Joyner, they really on me about the little things, attacking the run. Coach Lou really goes through the progressions of the drops and the routes that are being run when I have to go into coverage. Like when I was at Florida, it was like they would just tell me, go drop to this area, and I would have to figure out everything else on my own. But here, they go real into depth. I feel like I'm actually getting, developed here.
So the tag at the end is
That's the money quote.
I feel like I'm actually getting developed here. I don't think he intended any. That's a pretty insightful answer, right? Where he talks about the different ways he is being coached and some of the things that he is learning in a new stop. I don't feel like we get a ton of this in the transfer portal, right? You don't have a lot of guys that are saying things that feel like they are shots at their former team. He also has said this spring that it really hasn't sunk in for him yet that he's not going to be in a Florida Gators uniform this fall. I mean, clearly Florida was a good place for him. I mean, it has put him on draft boards everywhere for the draft a year from now. But yeah, Borky, I agree with you. It's that very last sentence that is the headline grab for people that are looking for low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're an Ole Miss fan, you love to hear this, obviously. It's great because it's now out there in the internet sphere and everywhere that, when you transfer there, a former Florida player is having a positive experience, all that stuff. I mean, you cut that and you send it to other guys you're recruiting and you use that to your advantage. But, man, what another example of things just not being right at Florida. And I just didn't see this coming from Billy Napier. He was so good at Louisiana, so good. Worked under Dabo and Saban. Everybody that is in and around the coaching industry just raved about Billy Napier. Thought it was a home run hire when he got to Florida. It has been a disaster, relatively speaking. The collective was a disaster with the Rashada deal and all that. The play on the field not good enough. Bringing Austin Armstrong, the defense is bad. Lose recruits left and right before signing day. Former players saying, when I was there, I was just told, drop into that spot and that's all you do. And at my new school, I'm actually getting developed. I am being explained why I'm doing these things now. Just one after another. It is a shocking disaster at Florida. And I mean shocking as in I didn't see this coming.
I agree with you. I didn't see it coming. I thought it was a good hire.
And I mean, it's so rare nowadays for us to just, like, somebody gets hired and we're immediately like, oh, no, wait, what are they thinking? That's not going to work. We tend to give people a chance, especially a coach like with Napier's resume. You think it's going, you're like, hey, all right, this guy coached under Saban. He's built up his program at Louisiana. He's waited for the right job. He's got it. they're off and running. And instead, it's just been I don't know. Stuck in neutral is the right word. Stuck in the mud might be better. And now they're about to face what is easily the hardest schedule I think I've ever seen a college football team have. I mean, they will be, if they get to 6-6, Napier did a really, really, really good job.
It's a hard schedule.
Yeah.